Hi there, I'm Karen Marie, and this is Psyched Up for Sunday, January 24th, 2021. So, I'm going to talk about the transits for this week on this video today, and I'm also going to do a three-card reading for all 12 signs. So, I want to start off by talking about last week. I was so grateful that we had an uneventful um, Mars square Uranus on inauguration day. Actually, the most surprising, unexpected thing that came out of that was that amazing 22-year-old poet, Amanda Gordon. Oh my God, was she not just amazing, awesome, unexpected, surprising? So it can happen in positive ways too. We did have Mount Etna um, exploding volcano in Italy, and we had an earthquake in Argentina, and there was someone who vandalized the Democratic offices in Portland. But for the most part, we dodged a bullet. I think for some major brouhaha. So we made it through that check on last week's astrology. So then this week we have, of course, another intensive week of astrology because why not? It seems to be the time. So today, as I'm recording this, we have the sun at 4 degrees of Aquarius conjunct Saturn at 4 degrees of Aquarius. And so the number four is a breakdown, breakthrough energy. So it's transformational, it can be disconcerting. The sun illuminates things, and Saturn is our structures, our laws, our restrictions, how we form our boundaries, where we say no. And so there's an illumination on that energy, and especially with Aquarius, it's like seeking out the boundaries with ourselves. Basically, it's more about like starting new routines, doing new rhythms, like doing something outside the box. Aquarians, it's a maverick energy. It's unique, the different. And so there's a whole stellium in Aquarius right now. Mercury is in Aquarius, Jupiter, the sun, and Saturn are all in Aquarius right now. So there's all this emphasis and energy on innovation and breakthrough. And Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. So the theme of sudden unexpected things definitely continues this week. And then we have a stellium in Taurus. We have Uranus, Mars, and Black Lilith close together in Taurus. And so these energies are squaring each other. So anytime there's a square, it's like two roads coming to a head. And, there's a vying for power. There's a pressure or frustration or a decision that has to be made, something along those lines. And so also in the backdrop of the skies this week, Neptune is now moved to 19. Well, it's been at 19. What's moved is the nodes are also at 19. So Neptune and the nodes, which have been square by a degree the last couple of weeks, are now exactly square. So again, Gemini North Node. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. It's the media, it's technology, it's our communication. And then on the south side, the south node, which is our collective karma, it's where we're releasing things, it's where we're letting go of things. That's in Sag, that's in the area of our belief systems. And then Neptune, which is the planet that is psychic radar and spiritual and downloading information on the upside, and then on the downside it's delusion, illusion, conspiracy theories. And so that's in Pisces. So Neptune in Pisces by itself is a very spiritual placement and a placement for downloaded information and spiritual insights. It's squared off with I don't know what to think, I don't know what to believe, is the backdrop that we have in the skies, one of the many backdrops we have going on. So there's still that two sides divided, two camps divided, and even within yourself, you may find that what you were thinking, what you were believing is like now subject to question marks. Or if you're been doing a lot of spiritual practices or meditation or prayer work, and you're super wide open and in that space of receiving, you can get some really clear, powerful downloads right now. Okay, so Sun conjunct Saturn today, right now. Um, and again, this energy is squaring off with Uranus. Uranus is at 6 degrees as I record this. We have Mars at 8 degrees. They're 2 degrees apart. And then Black Lilith is at, let me see, she's at 10. So they're like, anything within a 7-degree orb is considered conjunct. And then the closer the degree is, the more strongly it's felt. And when planets are exactly on top of each other, it's super intensive. Even within 2 degrees, it's very potent. 3 degrees, you're gonna feel it. So if you've got any planets between 6 and 10 degrees of Taurus, you're gonna really especially feel this energy. And the same thing with the Aquarian energy. If you've got any planets between 4 degrees, and then Mercury is up at 23 degrees. Really, if you have anything in Aquarius at all, you're probably feeling these transits right now. So, okay, so we'll have the moon. Right now, the moon's in Gemini, but it'll be moving into Cancer tomorrow on Monday. So when the moon is in Cancer, it's like feelings are heightened, and everybody can be extra sensitive and extra wiggy. It's about feelings when the moon's in Cancer. So the moon's going to be in Cancer like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. On Tuesday, the sun at 6 degrees of Aquarius is going to be squaring Uranus. So there's an exact square. It's already loosely squared, but it's going to be an exact square. So again, that's things coming to a head, sudden unexpected things being illuminated, surprise ahas. And then, Taurus is also what we value, our things, our property, our money, but also how we value ourselves. And the early degrees of Aquarius is also like, what do we have? Where do we belong? What kind of, where's our connection? Who do we belong with? And how do we belong being with ourselves? So there may be some coming to a head of, oh wait, I belong being in a 12-step group, not this thing. I belong being in a different neighborhood. I belong being in a different relationship. Those kind of things could come to a head. Pluto, which is at 24 degrees now, moves to 25 degrees of Capricorn on Tuesday. 25 makes 2 a 7, which is a very psychic, very spiritual degree. Pluto is death and transformation. So it really empowers the theme of death and transformation, things ending, new things beginning. Now, the United States natal Pluto is at 27 degrees of Capricorn. So Pluto moving within 2 degrees of the natal Pluto. We're going to be having a complete Pluto return by 2022, by next year. So, but we're beginning to feel it. So like the United States was formed in like breaking away, right? We broke away from England and we formed our own thing. So we were rebellious. We're saying no to that. We're starting this energy up. So this theme of like no new transformations, new shifts within our country in particular are going to be the theme for the next year, like transformation when it comes to how we form our governments or what's being happening in the Congress right now, in the congressional, in the House and the Senate. We'll just find some transformational policies being implemented, transformational decisions being made, things that are the death of certain things and the rebirth of other things. So that'll be the theme really all year, but it gets super intensive as Pluto moves into 25 degrees. And also on the sun will be conjuncting Uranus at 6 degrees, and then later in the day the sun will move to 7. So that's also a spiritual energy. So Tuesday with the moon in Cancer and this 7 energy can be very spiritual, very intuitive. Again, the feelings are going to be loud. And so if you're in touch with intuition and feelings, and which I believe everyone has intuitive abilities, and it's a matter of tuning in. The biggest block to listening to your intuition is your mind. So if you are feeling things out in a deep level, you can really get some insights and downloads from spirit on Tuesday. Wednesday, we have Mars conjuncting Black Lilith at 10 degrees of Taurus. So Black Lilith represents our deepest fears. In a natal chart, it's where we've had fears that are like carried over from a past life and fears that show up. And what is fears? False evidence appearing real. So it's not things that are going to rattle your world, but 2 degrees off of Mars and then Mars coming into Black Lilith, we may very well feel this anxious or explosive kind of panic fears. And it's really an opportunity to overcome fears wherever Black Lilith is in your chart. It's an opportunity to transform your fears. But if you have something at 10 degrees of Taurus, you're going to feel this really personally. So the moon will still be in Cancer that day. The moon is going to be full in Leo on Thursday at 9 degrees. And so always on a full moon, the sun is opposite the moon. So you're going to have this, anything planets in opposition, it's like a tug of war, right? So with the sun and moon play tug of war every full moon. And full moons are when feelings are at a height. We're going to be coming off of feeling for a few days in Cancer, then we're going to move into the Leo, which usually makes us feel more social and more passionate and, wanting to love relationship energy. But across from the moon, the sun will be exactly conjunct Jupiter on that day. So Jupiter expands things. So the Jupiter and the sun are going to be at 9 degrees of Aquarius. So we've got the full moon in Leo opposite Jupiter, which expands its energy. So full moons can bring deaths, letting go, releases. It can be secrets revealed. It can be a culmination, the end of a cycle. I'm done with this, no more kind of energy. So we've got the Pluto energy strong with this death and transformation. And with this full moon, it is hugely powerful. And again, this Aquarius energy is a maverick energy. And so the full moon and the Jupiter Sun opposition is squaring this Uranus and Mars energy in Taurus. So it could be super explosive. Also on that same day, because that's not enough, just the full moon alone by itself can be super powerful. It usually is. With Jupiter added to the mix, it's like tenfold, 10 times more powerful of a moon. It's kind of like an eclipse energy. I think this is even going to be a more powerful day than an eclipse, though, truthfully, with the square off with Mars and Uranus and Black Lilith. And then also on the same day, we have Venus conjuncting Pluto. So Venus is what we love, what we're passionate about, who we love. When it's crossing Pluto, can be the death of relationship, death of something you've loved, death of someone you've loved. It can be literal deaths with people. It can also be like spiritual interventions. Like Pluto is power and control as well. And it's, with the transformation energy, if something is not right for your life, you're going to see it clearly, especially with the Jupiter. Jupiter also brings knowledge and wisdom. And so it can be just this huge aha day. You can see things you haven't seen before within yourself, in terms of your relationships, in terms of what you look out in the world. So what a powerful day we are going to be having on Thursday. So it reaches its apex here in Austin, Texas around 1 p.m. So you can factor in your time change for that on Thursday. That's when it reaches its culmination. But we feel full moons a few days before, a few days after. This Mars conjunct Black Lilith energy on Wednesday, they're going to meet up at 10, and then they both move to 11 degrees by the end of the week. So there's several days of this Mars conjuncting Black Lilith. So really, fears can be heightened, and the full moon can bring out the lunatics, right? There's a reason for that word lunatics. It can, if anybody is on the edge, it can really push them over. So people can just feel like it's too much to handle. So it's, this is another day you want to be careful and not go outside if you don't have to, or be very tuned in to your intuition if you do. Any interactions that you have with other people is can be transformative. You can not, it doesn't have to bring the death of things. It can mean deep, Pluto's like deep sea diving too. So you can have deep heart to heart relationship talks around this energy too. So, and then because this is not enough for 1 week, we'll have Mercury going retrograde on Saturday. We still have the Sun square Mars, Uranus energy too. So Mercury going retrograde, most people know about it, but if you don't, Mercury rules our head. It's our communication. It's also our transportation, our technology, phones, computers, cars, travel. All these things can be jacked up and affected when Mercury goes retrograde. It's in Aquarius. It will be at 26 degrees when it goes retrograde. It retrogrades from January 30th, which is this next Saturday, until February 20th. So 3 weeks it goes retrograde, and it'll go back to 11 degrees of Aquarius, and then it'll march forward again. So it's really honing out. It's always an opportunity to go back and rethink about something, look at something different. It can wreak havoc in relationships because communication can break down. It can expose the parts that aren't working in communication, all sorts. Didn't you get that email? I sent it to you. You didn't get the check I sent you in the mail? Like, these are all things. Your little car breaks down, your phone breaks down, computer is glitchy, like all these things can happen during Mercury retrograde. It's also not a time to start new things, sign contracts. So if you've got something that needs to get started, the first few days of this week are like, get her done earlier rather than later, like, because otherwise you might feel like everything comes to a halt. With that full moon energy, you may not have the energy. I mean, the full moon in Leo can bring usually extra powerful energy, but with all the square energy going on as well, it may just be like a tug of war internally and not knowing which direction to go. It can also bring up a lot of anxiety this week, and like you don't know why you're feeling anxious. So the planets are just like we're in a vice grip this week. So that's the planets for this week that I see the most important things to consider. And as I always recommend, extra prayer, extra meditation. I did that last week. I'm someone who has strong spiritual practices to begin with. And I just upped it last week because I was so worried about the energy around the inauguration, and it turned out to be so beautiful and such a transformational day. So, and I know that I wasn't the only one on the planet that was putting prayer towards protection and things going peaceably. So that just reminds me how powerful prayer can be in your own life and the lives of the people around you. So definitely up the prayer and talk about psychic downloads this week. It can be on like Donkey Kong for reveals of all sorts. So if you're clueless about something right now, don't understand, not clear about direction, put it out there to receive insights, guidance, like program your sleep this week before you go to sleep. Put the request. Okay, I need to see clearly in this area. Should I, shouldn't I? Should I break up or should I stay in here? Should I start this new venture? Should I not? Like, if you have any kind of questions around that, throw that up before you go to bed at night and see if you don't have dreams or visions while you're sleeping that answer it. Often it can take several days of doing that before you'll get, and sometimes several weeks. But this is the vortex is close at hand this week. The veil is thin this week, and so this would be a great week to get psychic readings as well, because yeah, it's just a whole lot of illuminating information should come through this week. But there's also this sudden unexpected thing, the Uranus piece, anything in Aquarius can, and if you know an Aquarian, you probably know that they are not predictable at all. They do things outside the box. And so that's kind of the energy right now with all this stellium in Aquarius. It's going to be an outside the box year for sure, all year long, really. So is there anything else I see that I need to talk about? Chiron is still at 5 degrees of Aries, so it's still helping us to heal how we think about ourselves. So there's still that energy going on. Yeah, the Venus crossing Pluto piece, maybe I need to talk about that a little bit more. It can be this transformation within yourself. Like, I've always loved this, but I've never gone after it, right? So maybe you get this inspired energy to what can be dying is your procrastination and your avoidance of something, and the new that can be born would be, I'm actually going to learn how to play the cello. I'm going to start painting every day or whatever. I'm getting a really strong creative energy coming through with all this Aquarian energy. And Taurus is super creative. So if you've been having a war within yourself and avoiding creative expression, you might just like have that burst through this week too. Okay, that's all I'm really feeling right now with the transits for this week. I'm going to take a sip of tea and then go into I'm going to do just a 3-card spread for each sign. And this is, I'm going to start with Aries. If your sun, your moon, or your rising sign, or you have a stellium in Aries, this is going to be for you. So Aries, with their headstrong, passionate energy, childlike nature, Aries, when they feel good, they have a wonderful sense of humor. If they feel bad, they can behave like toddlers and throw temper tantrums and be explosive and be headstrong. They can be impulsive, jump into things without thinking, but they can be the big old bonfire that everybody wants to gather around so they can get warm around the bright, sunny energy that can come off a happy Aries. Or stay far away from Aries that's exploding. All right, let's see. I'm going to pull 3 cards, sort of a recent past, present, and near future. And then if need be, we can do a qualifier, which I'm already going to do that. All right, so recent past is the clinging to the past card. So this card depicts a blockhead, someone who is chewing on the same thing over and over and over again and has been stuck in the head trying to sort through and should I do this, should I not do this, or processing something, even some, I get it, stuff that you've even chucked up already. You've already like done some healing work. You've already had some realizations and you just haven't like swept it away. I'm getting the image of like someone, a sculptor who's like worked on a sculpture, right? And they've chiseled away, chiseled away, chiseled away. And so there's all this debris still hanging around where they chiseled everything away. So it's time to stop, even if the piece isn't finished, and sweep out the debris you've already discarded and that you'll be thinking more clearly. Also, writing things down, like writing it out, getting it out of your head, or telling someone else, so that you're not just carrying around all this information, downloading. I'm also getting, see the stars around it. So I'm also getting that there's little spirit guides, little spirit helpers that are willing to help you. If you ask, you can ask for your angels, the guides to come in and help you illuminate your path, get very clearly. Aries, I really feel like this full moon can really help you make these decisions that you're stuck with, or help you really clear out the old debris and be open to a new beginning. Right now is the playfulness card, Aries. So this is about find the joy. Things can be so heavy and so intensive. So you might have to go out of your way to find things that you can laugh about, look up comedy, stand-up comics, funny memes. But also, see, there's a clown face here on this person. It's like you don't also have to pretend for other people. Like, what brings you joy? And if you feel like you're having to show up or be something for someone else that you're not feeling, don't pretend. Don't go through the motions of something that's not feeling right. If it feels off, it probably is off. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right. So really tap into yourself and ask yourself, is this really the path for me? Is this really the person for me? Is this really what I feel guided to be doing? Because if you're on the right path, you will experience joy. If you're in the right relationship, your heart will sing. If you're doing the right work, your heart will sing. If you're in the right home, in the right place, you'll feel it. Things feel lighter and happy and joyful. So that's what I get for the now. In the near future, the first card that came out is the Miser card. The Miser card represents fear. It's particularly fear around money and financial things. And so again, we can get into a fear energy and contract. And so I believe the universe is always a reflection of ourselves. The world around us is reflecting what's going on inside of us. So if we're in fear, oh, I don't have enough, right? We're glinching, then the universe around us contracts and pulls away, right? So it's kind of contra to what you might feel like, oh no, I don't have enough, whatever you don't have enough of. Money, you don't have enough time, you don't have enough love, you don't have enough whatever it is. But if you can drop open, and here's the antidote card that came up with, is the source card. It's like tuning into source energy in the middle of that fear. Drop into, I have everything I need at this moment, right? That the universe is infinite. We can tap into the source, and it's source energy that brings us money. It's the source energy that brings us love. It's the source energy that brings us ideas and inspiration. So it's just a matter of dropping open, trusting source, and knowing that all our needs will get met. All of your needs will get met, Aries, in the near future. So it's just a matter of dropping into that abundance. All right, that's what I see for Aries. Let's move on to Taurus. Taurus, the bull, earth sign, super grounded, usually very cautious, careful, healing energy, creative energy. Usually Tauruses love clothes, they love food, they love their homes. And again, this is sun, moon, and rising, or if you have a stellium in Taurus, you're going to feel this energy. It's the bull. They can be super stubborn. You can't move them. But super loyal. Tauruses will have your back, and they're hardworking. So if Taurus says they're going to do something, they usually do something. Tauruses will be super loyal too. If they become your friends, they may take a while to warm up and be a close friend, But once they decide you're my people, you're pretty locked in. You're pretty much locked in for life unless you cross them in some way. They don't get over grudges easily. Okay. In the recent past, Taurus, is this the dream card. So this card depicts this woman who's sitting here, and in her fantasies and her imagination is this beautiful relationship, right? And that's what she's dreaming about. The problem is, the reality is she's sitting here by herself. So this card comes up a lot with clients who are in relationships and they're tapped into the other person's highest potential. They can see the possibility of the relationship. They can see them at their best. The problem is they're not bringing their best into the relationship. And so they're sitting there wanting it to be better than it is. And this can be a particular relationship in your life. It can be your significant other. It can also mean, because it's the dream card, whatever your dreams are feel like they're way far away and they're a fantasy, and that you're sitting here wishing it could happen. So this is the recent past. This energy is the place that you're moving out of. The card that's representing you right now, Taurus, is the schizophrenia card, which doesn't mean you're cray cray, although it can. I see this card a lot. See this person like just pulled to the brink here between these two forces. I see this card as when you feel divided down the middle. You feel completely pulled. Part of you wants to do this, part of you wants to do that. You don't know how to bridge the gap. This is also the card that I see when you need to move away from something that's not working for you. Something is making you feel crazy. And if you move away from this thing, you'll feel better. And this thing could be a person, place, or thing. It can be a substance. It can be a toxic environment of any kind, but it's definitely feeling like you need to really listen to intuition and move away from the things where your needs are not getting met and that you're feeling just torn down the middle, right? You have to make a decision and move one way or another. I see this card too when people are moving, like they're physically going to move away. So there's something about some movement and a shift going on right now for Tauruses. And then in the near future is the new vision card, which is literally, there's literally a house here in the background, but it's also like a new sense of self, a new habit, a new routine, a new way of viewing yourself. A new person could come in. It's a new vision. So you're moving out of this separated, pulled reality that's not what you want it to be, and making a firm decision to step into something better for your life. So that's a really positive energy. And again, there's an activation of the heavens. And so there can be more intuitive downloads for you specifically, Taurus, in the near future. I'm getting messages coming from other people or other sources that seem to confirm what you're wanting to do. So one of the things I do when I'm at a juxtaposition, I'm not sure which way I should go, I ask the universe, show me, guide me, make it super loud and clear, and then show me 3 times, confirm it. Don't just show me once, confirm it. It's like, for example, I use this example a lot with clients. It's like, you're thinking about maybe starting a new exercise routine, maybe yoga, maybe a dance class, maybe you're going to buy some piece of exercise equipment, right? So you're like, not sure, I need to do something movement wise, right? And then you pull behind a car, they have a big yoga sticker, right? And then you walk by someone in the grocery store and you just hear a little snippet of the conversation as they're talking to someone on the phone going, and my yoga class this morning, da da da. And then you have someone that calls you, you're on the phone with them and they're like, oh my God, I had the best yoga. But so 3 times yoga's come out. That would be the path to take. That's just an example, right? So you can do that for anything. Turn it over to your higher self. Turn it over to the universe. Ask for clear guidance, right? anybody can use that advice, but Tauruses in particular. All right, next is Gemini. Gemini is the twins. It's ruled by Mercury. Geminis can often jump up in their heads and stay there and bat it between the two different sides of the self. Geminis can be Jekyll Hyde. It can show one face one day and another face the other day. They can also be super creative. They can be super great lawyers or anyone who's advocating for someone else because they can see both sides of the picture. It's an air sign, so they can kind of leave their body sometimes and not be really grounded. They can like go off and where are you? They're often up in their heads thinking about something. So again, this is sun, moon, rising, and any stelliums in Gemini. And if you have a stellium in Gemini, right, Gemini's twins. So if you have like 2 planets, 3 planets, 4 planets in Gemini, that's like 4 sets of twins, 5 sets of twins. That's a whole committee up in there. Some of those people are the most creative people. They can also be super difficult to understand and absolutely impossible to predict. But let's see what's going on with Gemini, recent, past, right now, and near future. Okay, recent past for Gemini is the moment to moment card. This is the card that's like taking one step at a time. What today do I feel guided to do? So this is like moving towards something slowly, like you've been putting persistent, consistent energy, action into something already, Gemini. Like you've been doing what you said you're going to do. You've made a change, you're doing things differently, and you're just really seeking guidance on a daily basis and just trying to do all that you can do in one day. So this is recent past. The same dream card is coming up for you. So again, this is that feeling of not experiencing what you dream about, whether that's in a relationship or just in your life. So then bringing that back to yourself, what today can I do to make my dreams become real? And if you're realizing that you're in a relationship where you would hope for the best potential, but it's just not showing up in the other person, how long have you been hooked? Right? If they've just been in a funk and not bringing their best self for the last couple of weeks or couple of months, or even we'll give them all 2020, that could be just temporary. It could be a temporary funk that they're in, and that if you just are patient and work on what you can change within yourself, that it could be fine. But if this has been the status for a decade or 2 decades or 3 decades, chances are you're never going to get what you want from this person. Not that it's not possible, because it is, and you can see it, but you really have to pay attention to what they're doing. What are they walking in their talk? Are they doing what they said they're going to do? Are you doing what you said you're going to do to make your dreams come true? Because that's on you. If it's a dream that you have that just feels like it's unreachable, unattainable, some of that may be that you are stuck in your lower vibration. You are more identified with the can't, with an I can't do it, instead of the I can, right? I'm thinking of the little engine that could, right? I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. So it may just need some of that energy if it has something to do with you, because we only have power over ourselves. We don't have power over another person. And so a lot of times you just have to take them at face value. They are what they are. Is that work for you or does it not work for you? If you're hoping for someone else to change in order for you to feel happy or content in your relationship, no, you're not going to be happy or content in your relationship. You can be happy and content within yourself, right now. That's what you can have power, control over. And chances are that's where the disease is. Like there's something within yourself that you're not happy and content with, and it's manifesting in this relationship that you're choosing to stay in the near future is the understanding card, Gemini. This is where the the cage opens and the bird can fly out, right? And it's this card represents the ahas, the insights, the downloads that come from spirit and from higher self, where you felt trapped and stuck and didn't know that how you were gonna didn't know the way out. And then all of a sudden, oh, okay, now I see. Now I see the way out. So again, information, spirit download, spiritual intervention feels like it's coming right ahead. Like spirit's going to lift you up in some way and give you a vision is what it looks like. And this may be while you're sleeping or when you're dozing off or involved in another activity. You may just get a download out of nowhere, because if you're trying to figure it out, Gemini, you're going to block yourself from being able to see. Whereas if you take that head off, both of those heads off, and you just try to be, chances are you're going to have the insight coming in at that point when you just stop wrestling with it. Okay, show me, guide me, make it really loud and clear. I'm going to stop trying to figure it out. But there is some great insight and understanding to your current situation coming, Gemini. All right, Cancer. Cancer, the crab. It's a water sign. It's a cardinal water sign, so it's initiation energy. It's like crashing waves, thunderstorms, waterfalls. That's the Cancer energy. Cancer is very powerful. It's the crab. Cancers usually need a shell to protect themselves in. They need to go back inside their shell and heal and nurture themselves so they can interact with the world. Cancers are often empathic sponges. They're often healers, loving to cook, feed the world, feed other people, nurture other people. Sometimes they can be flaming codependents and put the other person's needs before their own needs. Often that's the case I see with cancers, where they can often implode with energies and they just keep stuff to themselves. It's harder for them to speak up. They can be super shy too. The world doesn't feel very safe out there. So, but that's the Cancer energy that I'm picking up. And boy, I have a lot of people stuck here. And there's another one I'm going to need a clarification. Once again, the dream card. Y'all saw how many times I shuffled that too, right? So once again, Cancer, same story in the recent past, where you're seeing the potential in someone or something and just not experiencing it. It's just not happening. So this is showing up in your recent past situation where it just wasn't working for you. And you hoped that the best would come out of someone or some situation, and it feels like it didn't. Okay, you have to let it go. Like going of your expectations for other people too. Yeah. And then I've already talked about this card 2 other times, so you can apply what I've said about this card to you as well, Cancers. Okay, right now, the card that you're needing right now is this existence card. This is the card that talks about meditation, spiritual practices, finding that you're one little piece of in the big, huge universe, that there is something vaster, grander than you are that can help you in your situation, help you get insight, and that you'll feel the best about yourself when you just plug into spirit and plug into your higher self. Let the world fall away for a little bit. Feel held by the universe. I also get the feeling that there could be loved ones that have just crossed, or someone on the other side that you may feel closer to in doing that too, like to tune into their energy or feel that energy coming from spirit from the other side. So my experience with people that have crossed over, because I do medium work, is that usually when people cross, for the first few days, they'll sometimes really feel their loved ones. They'll see them in a dream, or they'll actually feel like they smell them or feel them walk by, or there's a strong energy. Then there goes through a period where you're in grief usually, and you don't feel them. You don't get a signal from them. You just don't know what's going on with them. There's always loved ones on the other side, spiritual beings that they never cross and are by themselves. And so they're acclimating to being out of their body on the other side. Depending on how evolved they were in this body, when they were in a body, and how traumatic or not their death was, because everybody, there's a different range of time. It's not consistent. At some point in time, they do start trying to contact their loved ones and let them know they're around. And usually there's going to be little signs, signals that show up that represent the loved one. Sometimes it can be a small creature in nature, whether that's a butterfly or a bee or a bird of some sort or a lizard or whatever. It was garden snakes for a friend of mine that passed a year and a half ago. I saw 7 of them the same day she passed. So like now, whenever I see a garden snake, I think of her. And if they're super adept, they'll actually start manipulating electricity. You might have electrical appliances go wiggy, or lights flash, or lights not work, or electricity not work, electrical appliances not work. Like that's when they can interfere with electricity, and will sometimes let you know they're there in that kind of way too. The tricksters, the ones that really want to show up and communicate. And then, cancers, y'all are extra psychic too. So I feel like you're one of the best signs for just receiving direct communication directly, like really getting a message straight to you from them. And it often can come in meditation, or come when you're sleeping, or come when you're quiet or still. Okay, so the near future is the projection card. So the projection card comes when someone else dumps their stuff onto you, and that's what they see. They see their projected stuff. They're not seeing you clearly. And usually there's 2 sides of that. There's not just usually one person projecting on the other person and the other person seeing that person back clearly. Usually there's some mirroring going on. But it is classic for someone who has not done their inner work to point out into their environment, you blah, 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 fill in the blank. And it's crazy making when that person is accusing you of the very thing that they do. So that can start a lot of wars and relationships between nations. So there's some situation in the near future where someone is projecting their stuff onto you. The best thing is to not engage, right? To just look at them and then ask to see them more clearly. Get back to this energy where you can see their higher self to help you as an antidote too. So, but what usually when there's projection going on, sometimes people can project onto you better than you are, or a higher aspect. And that can also feel disconcerting if someone has you up on a pedestal and you're like, hey, I'm not, like, I got some clay feet, trust me. But there's also this energy of more likely it's the negative stuff, and that you can go into the place of feeling like you have to defend yourself. No, I'm not. That's not right. That's not true. And it feels like it's better just not to engage, to observe it, be quiet, hear them out, keep it, and then remove yourself from the person. It can be a sign that this is not a working relationship for you. The innocence card is coming up as the extra card with this one. So this is about wisdom and seeking wisdom. And sometimes you can seek that straight from yourself. What is the wise path of action? This may also be a situation that you have to take it to your counselor, to your therapist, to your sponsor, to your big brother, to your friend who always shells out the wise advice, to your psychic, a person that you consider that has wisdom to give you some insight into the situation and confirm. This may be a situation where you just have to say, I can't be with this person, can't be around this person. Yeah, because it feels to me in this situation, you've said all that you can say. You've defended yourself a bazillion times and you're just done. That's what it looks like to me. All right. Leo. Leo is another fire sign. Leo is the lion. Leo can be, all fire signs can lose it in a big way when they get angry, the roar of the lion. But Leos also have the side where they can turn into the kitty cat and want to just crawl up in your lap and sleep or nap. Leos can be lazy. They they can just lay around. But if Leos feel passionate about something, they'll like work overtime. Leos usually love the stage. They love to perform. They often end up being performers, actors, musicians, public speakers in some way, attorneys, somewhere where they get the attention on them. They can be narcissistic, for sure, because they can be all about themselves. They can also be super passionate and demonstrative when it comes to love. Um, so again, we're going to have this full moon in Leo this week. So all those things can be a factor into the moon. All right. Okay, recent past for the Leo, the burden card. This is like carrying, well, it's exactly what it looks like. You're either carrying the weight of someone else or you're being burdened down in some way by life, by obligations. I'm drawn to the green glove here. There's something healing. I feel like it's in the recent past, but there may have been like attempt to do some healing for someone or feel like I can help you, let me help you. And then you took on more than you could chew. You did, you said, oh yeah, I can help do that. And then you're like, oh, why did I say that? That kind of thing. It also can be just the pandemic energy where you're just like, this is getting to me. You may have put on weight. That may be what's burdening you, Leo. Because it feels like there's some healing energy still needed for you. You may be trying to help someone else in the very way that you need help. And it just feels like the spunk has gone out in the recent past. Like there's a rooster up here on the top, and I get the feeling it's not crowing, it's just sitting there. So like, is this going to get any better? It's kind of a worry. A relationship turns into a burden instead of being something that brings you joy. And it just feels like it's super hard. It's been super hard in the recent past. Right now is the harmony card. So this is a really beautiful energy for peace and harmony in relationships currently. This also is a card that can depict someone's about to come in. This third eye is activated in the heart. So this is like that the eyes are closed here. So there's a desire to manifest the double dolphins, the energy of the two people swimming together, right? Like in synchronicity, the desire to manifest a synchronous relationship. And so it feels like there's a powerful intention that you're putting out right now, Leos, to manifest harmony in your life and harmony in relationships in particular. And that special person that you're missing, or maybe you're feeling them psychically too. Maybe it's someone you already know and you're just apart from them and you just can feel them psychically all the time and you think about them a lot. Or it's a desire to have that. It's one or the other, depending on who you are in your situation. Near future is this schizophrenia card. Again, this is feeling divided down the middle. It's a separation, moving yourself away from something and the need to move away from something, saying enough of this, I can't do this anymore. I can't stay torn down the middle. I've got to make a decision. And this feels like it's particularly around relationship, Leo. And then there's the creator card coming in. So this is actually applying that fire that you have to make something happen, taking action, realizing that you can manifest whatever you want. The sky's the limit. You don't have to be stuck in a relationship that you feel burdened by, that you feel split down the middle around. You can take your power back and decide you're going to start a new life. You're going to manifest something new from this moment forward. Get the energy flowing in some way. I feel like Leos, you're needing to take action and exercise, walk, run, dance, swim, do jumping jacks, do some yoga, that there's like a way, just the energy needs to be flowing to get moving. But once you get moving, you can really make something happen. And if you believe that you can do it, you can do anything. If you don't believe it, you won't make it happen. If you feel stuck, I'm just stuck, I just can't. If you just keep repeating the negative, you're going to really get yourself super glued into a situation. Whereas if you tell yourself, there's always potential, there's always possibilities, there's always ways that I can break out of this place I'm in now and manifest something better, higher. Okay, Virgo. Virgo's an earth sign. It's the healer, the helper, the attention to detail person. Virgos can be super perfectionistic. And if you've got a Virgo moon, you can be really hard on yourself, perfectionistic with yourself. You can overthink your feelings if you've got a Virgo moon. Virgos often are drawn into healing professions. They're great organizers, usually. They're great editors because they can see those flaws and correct them. Super grounded. Virgos usually do what they say they're going to do, unless they've got other planets that are more flaky. then it can be question mark. That's true for anybody. Let's see what's going on in Virgo world. The aloneness card is coming up in recent past. So this can be literally that you've been alone. This card also is the hermit that's doing a spiritual path, like he's headed into the light here. So it can represent how you've recently been, you have been meditating, you have been praying, you have been reading spiritual literature, you have been trying to seek the light and make the best of a situation. If you're literally alone, you've been trying to make the best of it. You've been trying to find answers. It feels like you've been alone in the dark though, and you're just like, when will this end? Kind of a feeling is what it feels like. But there's a new dawning, a new beginning. There's something that's started. I feel like more like if it's a new spiritual practice, it feels like more time and energy needs to be put into it so the little spark turns into a bigger bonfire. And there's definitely the need to reach out and connect with someone else that is also in a similar place. So this could also indicate depression. And so if it's depression, one of the best ways to get out of depression is to call up somebody else and ask them how they are, or to go help somebody else, or to take account of, do a gratitude list. Like, what are all the things that you can feel grateful for? And there may need, you may need to get your meds checked, or you may need to get on meds or takes, it doesn't have to be pharmaceuticals. It can be, make sure you're taking B vitamins and flaxseed oil. That's great for your brain chemistry, or get off the sugar and the alcohol that's horrible for your brain chemistry, that kind of stuff. There may be shifts and changes that you have already made or need to make, Virgo. This is the card that represents you right now. It's the guilt card. It's not always guilt though. Sometimes it is guilt, like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or I should have done this by now. A lot of times it's just pulling your hair out, just be up in your head, overthinking things. Again, there's sort of this gray clouds or everything, but notice the flowers are up here. So again, if you can get out of your head and what is positive in my life, what can I be grateful for? And whatever, if you have done something that, or haven't done something you should have, that you feel guilty about, what can you do right now to change that? What can you do to make it right? You need to make amends to somebody. You need to apologize. You need to verbalize. You need to write it out somehow, tell somebody, scream it out, throw plates against a brick wall to get out the angst and the energy. But there's energy that needs to be flow, that needs to be moving, that's backed up right now. I get right now for the Virgo. Near future for the Virgo is compromise, a situation where you're compromising yourself and you get the big aha, I'm compromising myself here. There's something that's not working for me here in the near future. Again, it could be in a relationship, it could be with a job, it can be where you live, but something does not fit well, and it's not going to shift is what it feels like to me. And when you bump up against that brick wall, this is where you need to stop and reroute and redirect. The additional card I pulled for that is the We Are the World card. This card is about global travel. It's about the ultimate in potentiality and possibilities. Anything's possible, everything's possible. So if you're in a situation that's not working for you and coming to, ahead, and you just keep hitting that brick wall, where can you turn where it opens up unlimited possibilities, right? Um, that may be breaking up with someone so that you then have a whole world of other single people. It can, and you may, the compromise could be within yourself. Like, you're bumping against a hard place within yourself that just is not working for you, and realize that you have the ultimate potential to change and transform your life in positive ways. So this is taking yourself out of some deep, heavy stuff and moving into a brighter future where you feel optimistic and happy and joyful and connected to other people. Like, here it's the opposite of the aloneness card. Like, there's all these people in your life that can be there for you. So this also might be, getting into a group or connecting with other people in some way, even if it's online, so that you are not sitting there alone. Okay, Libra. Libra is an air sign. It's the scales. It's going back and forth and back and forth. Libras often can be super indecisive. I don't know, maybe this, maybe that. They can take a long time to make decisions. They can also be really into fairness and justice and wanting everybody to win, and be they can end up in law, advocating for the rights of the underprivileged, or getting to nonprofit where you're helping the people out that are less fortunate than you are. Yeah. Libras are very intuitive. They are often artists, musicians. There's usually something beautiful about Virgo, Libra. I'm getting tongue tied now. Libra, sun, moon, rising. There's something beautiful about them. Often it's, the ruling planet for Libra is Venus. And so the Venusian energy, there's going to usually be something that shows up that the Libra is at least pleasant looking. Like Leos, I didn't say this, but Leos often will have something about their hair that stands out. They have a mane in some way. Okay. Leo needs extra card. Libra. Libra. All right. Recent past is the Master card for Libra. This is getting great insight, having downloads, feeling like you're in your power, feeling like that you're doing what you came here to do. Wisdom, seeking wisdom from some person that confirmed something for you or gave you great insight here in the recent past. But a very positive energy, and I'm hearing to be reminded of knowing who you are, knowing that when you leave this body, your soul goes over, and the body gets put down, and all your stuff and all the drama that's going down around will be just like a memory, a bad dream, in some cases. There's also something colorful. I'm getting there. I don't know if you can see that, but there's this. It's like the trees here have colors here in the recent past. So it's like, I feel like there's artistic, creative things that have started and maybe not finished. So need to complete some creative projects for the Libra energy, and that you'll feel more empowered if you complete these things that you've already started. The bridge that's crossing right now for the Libra is the slowing down card. So this may literally just feel like you can't move faster than the great tortoise pace, that like, you just don't have the energy, or that you're being persistent, but you're moving super slow. Look, I've got the turtle here going on in my shirt today. It's, yeah, feeling heavy, slow moving, but there's movement and progress. If you're not being a perfectionist on yourself, there is forward motion, there is movement, but there's definitely this heaviness that I'm feeling right now with the Libra energy. There's something feels like it's weighing on you. And you're like, ugh, do I have to? I don't want to do this. Like you're like avoiding something that you have to deal with, and you just don't want to deal with it right now. So there's two different cards that I pulled for the near future for the Libra, both of which can indicate depression. The suppression card is just having a lot of imploding feelings, emotions, trapped, feeling knotted up. And this postponement card too is, see how they're in this gray, black and white. They see there's a potential for color, but they're not feeling it right now. So either one of these cards, if it comes up in a reading, can indicate depression. It can be addiction, that you're getting blocked up by some sort of addictive energy. It just feels kind of intensive here in the near future. So you may be having a come to Jesus where you're going to have to put something down. I got to put the alcohol down. I got to put the sugar down. I got to put this toxic relationship down. Something that's weighing on you that you have to deal with. That may be what you're dragging your feet about. And the other card with that is the possibilities card. It's like sometimes you can get stuck in the fear of letting go of something that like if you're using alcohol, for example, that's been your coping mechanism. Like you can't even envision not drinking over your feelings or not drinking over your problems, for example. But what you don't see is this whole range of possibilities that you are depriving yourself of when you're staying stuck in something. And when you can really have a come to Jesus with yourself, get the help you need, make the firm determination, depending on what it is. Sometimes you can't do it alone. Sometimes you need to ask for help, right? And sometimes you can do it alone. You can just make a determination like, I'm done with this. I'm putting it down. I'm walking away from this relationship. I'm not doing this to myself anymore. I'm not allowing this to be done to me anymore. Then the world opens up for you at that point. So I do feel like that there's some sort of come to Jesus moment that's in your near future, Libras, where just say no. It's okay. There's a whole nother world out there beyond where you're the trapped energy that you are in right now. Okay. After Libra, we have Scorpio. Scorpio is also a water sign. It is the deep, dark waters. Scorpio is the only sign that has 3 different totems represented. It's the scorpion, which you find under rocks, and they'll has that stinger on it that will sting you if you mess with them. Like, if a Scorpio, you don't want to cross them. They also can hold on to grudges. That Scorpio energy, like, has that outer shell, and they can be really shy and need their space and want to be off by themselves. There's also the Phoenix, which is death and transformation. It can be just hugely passionate and powerful. Sexual energy is connected with Scorpio. And then the third is the eagle, which is flying high above, can observe everything. It's a super spiritual energy. So Scorpions can be some of the most spiritual people on the planet when they've done their inner work and they've let go of the stuff that's blocking them. They can really fly high and really help other people see, give insight to other people, insight to others. But they are good with secrets. They can keep secrets until their grave. If you want someone to hold a secret for you, find a good Scorpio. They will keep your secrets for you. They can also be secretive themselves. You can't pry out the secret out of the Scorpio. All right, so they need extra cards too. All right, recent past for the Scorpio is the third eye opening. This is the psychic sight. This is the third eye. This is getting insights, psychic direction, feeling very clear and open psychically, like getting some clear downloads and knowing that the information is coming from a psychic source, not from your brain, but super revealing information in dreams. Something's been super powerful recently, Scorpio. You've gotten some downloaded information. Right now for you is the creativity card, which is put it into coloring books, put it into painting, gardening, cooking, making new clothes, designing something. There's something, there's a creative project that is beckoning right now. It could be drama, it could be music, could be dancing, any and all of those things. The more you can get your energy flowing, there's something new coming through you right now. Near future, there's a couple of negative cards here too for the Scorpio. The isolation card, which is feeling alone, stuck, crying about it, it just feeling frozen energy wise. And then the compromise card, which has come up before with another sign, which is like, this is not working. So this to me feels like a situation where you may be in a relationship and feeling isolated, or you could be by yourself and feeling alone, like maybe you're on lockdown and you can't go somewhere. But the compromise card usually indicates a relationship where you feel stuck in, or you're compromising yourself in a certain situation in the near future. You're going to get some insights about how to take action and get really this passionate focus. This is the intensity card. There's a focus. See this arrow of clarity of like knowing just what to say, what to do, where to put your energies. Again, it feels like it comes intuitively. When you feel stuck, again, sort of back away, let the download come for the way to take action and the way to move forward. I feel like it's going to come through very intensely. Like if you're like, oh, maybe it's this. No, you haven't gotten your answer yet. Because this energy, as it comes through, you know, oh, wow, I just had this vision. I just got this hit. I got this idea. Or someone else gives you the idea and you go, that's exactly what I needed to hear. That's exactly right. Or someone else gives you the sign that tells you, I'm out. That's it. I'm not taking any more of that. Not doing that anymore. Okay, now we have the Sag, another fire sign. Sages love to talk, they love to learn, they love to travel, they love people. I see Sag as often as non-monogamous or poly, not everybody, but they're can be very apt to want to love lots of people. And if you're in a relationship with a Sag, you need to give them lots of space to have lots of connections because they feel happiest when they have lots of different people they can connect with. And if you're a Sag and you're by yourself, find ways to connect with people, whether that's online, call up your friends. Like you may be the one to have, maybe you're sitting at home, nobody's calling you, so call your friends. You call them. You probably find that you call someone and they'll tell you, I've been thinking about you. So Sagittarius can also, they can be open mouth or insert foot. They can blurt out stuff and then not really stop to think about it before they say it. They can spend a lot of time reading or exploring things they are interested in on YouTube. They'd love to learn. Global travel is preferable for Scorpios if they can do it. Ha! I say that in the traveling card came out as I said that. Okay. Traveling card, recent past. This can be literal travel where you've traveled recently. It can also be symbolic of spiritual travel, that you've been on a journey. You've been going through a spiritual process where you've taken yourself from one place to another, or you're thinking back, this is in the recent past, or thinking back when you did travel and missing that, or maybe you're looking over photographs or paintings that remind you of places you've been to before. I feel like there's going to be travel in your future as well. Right now, it feels like there's not a lot of travel going on, not the travel you want to be doing anyway. It's definitely time for spiritual journeying, though. You can definitely travel internally and get to a new place within yourself. I'm really drawn to the sun coming out here in the recent past. So there's light illuminating the way. But, if you don't know the way forward, it's where the light is today. What today do you feel guided to do? Where today do you get your insights? Um, or what insights are you getting today? This is the third eye opening representing you today. It's all about getting psychic downloads. It really is. Go into meditation, get your download, get what the universe has to tell you for right now today. What do you need to hear, learn, know? And if you quiet the mind, there is incoming downloads. There's someone trying to get to you, someone trying to find you. If you tune in to how to take action, you can find them as well. It feels like someone's on a search to find like partner. I feel like your partner's searching for you as well, and and trust your intuition. How today can I find my partner? This feels like someone who's alone that is looking for partner, and know that your partner is looking for you too. So even, you know, people talk about pray, you look at the moon and know that whoever you're missing is also looking at the same moon. This feels like that whoever's whoever you're looking for, maybe it's someone in particular, or maybe it's um, just someone new, then you've never met them, you don't know who your person is, but you're just ready to find your person. But know that your person is ready to find you too, and you can tap into them psychically and be connected to them, and then better move towards taking action in whatever way that y'all can find each other, whether that's getting on an online dating service, or um, going to do yoga in the park and they're there, or whatever. Like it's not a figuring out, it's about letting yourself being guided, and what today do I feel guided to do, and then doing that thing, and then paying attention, and then keep doing that every day. There's someone that's on the verge of about to enter into a new relationship. There also feels like there's a Sag that's looking for a new job. Same kind of a thing, like whatever job you're looking for, the people at this work or the job is looking for you. Even if it's something that you're going to initiate, you're going to start something yourself. It may be time to just get off the chair and start putting your ideas into action and making it happen. So then there's the morality card coming in the near future. Now, this card usually shows up when there's intimacy that's been shut down. It can also be sexual abuse energy that's coming up for healing. It can also be literally having someone that's in jail or being confined or being in jail. It's just feeling shut down. But mostly this card shows up in relationships with people that are not having an intimate life for whatever reason. If they're wounded because of incest or sexual abuse or rape in the past, that could be why. Or it could be that you're alone and you just don't have the intimacy you want to be having. So with that card is this intensity card. Again, it's stopping, asking for direction. Where do I go? In some cases, it may be to a healer to help heal some of those old wounds. In other cases, it could be to take action towards, like, I know what I should do. And like you get this brilliant new idea you haven't thought of before, and you go pursue it, and there you meet your person. Or you get clear about words to put into a dating profile app, like a funny thing to say or a funny way to present yourself, or questions to ask the other, something that just feels like it comes in channeled, and you go and you put that out there to find your person. But there's a shift coming in terms of relationship for Sages, is what I get. Okay. And then next we have the Capricorn, earth sign, natural leader, hard-headed, hardworking, practical, logical. Capricorns can stay too much in their head. They can also be really bossy. Or they can be the other end. If they don't like you, they can completely shut down. If you've offended a Capricorn, you may be fired for life. More presidents have been Capricorn than any other sign. So there's a natural leader. Often Capricorns will find themselves leading or directing or being ahead of work situations or organizations or school class, student council reps. All right, what's going on with the Capricorns? Okay, so the recent past with the Capricorn is the participation card. This is working with other people, doing a project with some people, getting together with family. It's a cooperative energy effort that's happened in the recent past. And it feels like it was good. It's like, oh, it felt really good to connect with these people, or it felt really good to have all hands on deck with this and have some help with this, or it felt really good for the collaboration and everybody's different ideas to come together. Like it feels like it's a coming together of different people from different walks of life. Even if it's in the same family, this is a very diverse family energy. It's definitely a coming together that feels like welcomed and happy and whole energy in the recent past. The bridge right now is the comparison card. So this feels like it could be, comparing your physical body to someone else's, like I'm too big, or I'm not big enough, or I'm not smart enough, or like it's like you're the oak and trying to compare yourself to a bamboo, or you're a bamboo trying to compare yourself to an oak. All you can be is yourself fully. I mean, what's coming up is the only thing you should ever compare yourself to is yourself yesterday. But if you're a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday, you're moving in the right direction. But never compare yourself to another person. But it feels like there's a not good enough feeling coming up, like I didn't do that good enough, or like I could have done better with that job or whatever. But it feels like you're beating yourself up, and stop it. Just stop. Like if you need to make a change, but beating yourself up about it and then not making any changes, it almost feels like someone is like, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that, and then you just eat more, kind of a thing. Stop that. Just make a different plan and start anew. And this would fall in sync with that in the near future is the moment to moment card. This is that, what today do I feel guided to do? What step can I take today to move myself forward, take action? Like Capricorns love to have a plan. And this is like, okay, I've got my plan now, and now I'm moving forward. I'm doing what I can do today towards my plan. But there's important to have a goal, to have a plan. And so if you don't have a goal or a plan, Capricorn, this is the time to sit down, write out your dream, write out your plan, write out, even if you have to get all the things out and like just brainstorm and get them all out and then go back and organize it into steps. But it feels like action needs to be taken to get out of a stuck place right now. And I feel like these people that you've gotten together with recently can help you. So you can tell your sacred people, I need help, and get help. Aquarius. Okay. Air sign, the maverick, looking at things outside the box, the unique, the different, spacey, ungrounded, inventive, funny, exasperating, know-it-all. I mean, all the things that are coming through about the Aquarius energy. Vibing with others well, thinking about others, thinking only about themselves. This, like the two squiggly lines is the Aquarius, which a lot of people think is water because it looks like waves. It's the water bearer, but it's an air sign. It's kind of a weird energy, but unique, different, breath of fresh air is the Aquarian. Okay, recent past is the integration card. This is one of my psychic cards. This is the psychic showing up, getting strong intuition about something, getting ideas, getting just things have been hot psychically. You're just really getting a lot of insights in the recent past. Um, all right. And then the guilt card is coming up as you right now. So again, it does not always mean guilt. It always means of being up in your head too much and trying to wrestle with something and figure something out. So this is the opposite energy of this psychic card. So you have the potential, you've had the experience of what it feels like when you're in a flow and when information is just coming through and things are in a groove and you're following your intuition and everything is just unfolding in a beautiful way. You're trying to manage, control, make something happen, or you've been lazy and haven't been making things happen and you feel guilty about that. Somehow the energy flow is completely off. It's either too much energy putting into something or not enough energy. Like the energy flow feels off. And so it's a need to like, okay, what do I need on the physical level for my physical health? What do I need to feed myself to feel grounded and happy and healthy? What kind of actions do I need to take? Exercise, meditation, organize my room, clean out the clutter. It feels like there's some action steps that need to be taken, Aquarius, to feel physically better. It feels like you may have let things pile up around you. Um, and so it's like it's time to deal with that stuff. And in the near future, you've got the courage card. This is the flower growing out of the rock. It's making something happen. It's being optimistic in a situation that's feeling hard and difficult. It's starting something new. Um, but it's a beautiful energy that's way different from this current energy right now. So it's just like starting one thing, moving like, say you have a room full of clutter, where's one little place you can start? Maybe clean up all the trash and throw it out, or organize all the CDs or records that are all out, or, deal with your mail, or put all the clothes away, or do all the laundry. Like start with one thing, and that will lead to more things. And it feels like picking one thing every day to tackle or to address to move yourself forward is what I'm getting with the Aquarius, or actually reaching out to that person you've been thinking of. The guilt card may be like, this may be the courage to make amends to someone that you've done wrong to, and it's just racking your brain. They keep coming up to your mind. You somehow could have done something better, and you're going to get out of the arrogance, you get out of the fear, you're going to reach out to this person. That's some of you Aquarians are going to be doing that. Others are just starting projects they've been avoiding, or starting new things. Maybe you're writing a new song, or you're designing new clothes, or there's something creative, inventive that's percolating out of the near future too. But there's definitely promise and a shift in energies, and it's somehow connected to this psychic insight and the downloads that you've been getting. You may decide to start doing psychic readings yourself, or start, there's some that's definitely going on for some Aquarians, because I get that you're super psychic, yet you're afraid to open your mouth and be insightful to other people. So when you are supposed to be being creative and the energy is not flowing, or you're supposed to be channeling and you're not saying anything, that energy backs up. That's true for everybody. I see that over and over and over again in my readings with clients, is creative people, psychic people that aren't doing their creativity, they're not doing readings for others, that energy just backs up and they can become miserable. They literally can gain weight, or they're using substances to avoid. And if they just get into the creative flow, you'll just feel so much better. And last, but by no means least, is the Pisces, also a water sign. And the water here is like mist, clouds, light rain, fog. That's the energy of the Pisces. It's a very spiritual sign. Pisces is also the wounded healer. I see a lot of people with Pisces energy that have had the worst childhoods, sometimes adulthoods as well. But it's always meant to, a lot of times it's what prompts people to get into therapy themselves and then decide to be a therapist, or they get into drugs and alcohol addiction and then decide they're going to be the drug and alcohol counselor. Pisces can be really good about turning their situation around. They can also be really indecisive. Pisces is the slippery fish. You don't know which way they're going to go, and they, may not do what they said they're going to do because they may not feel like it. Okay, what do we see for the Pisces? All right, I'm getting that there's a completely different energy going on here. Yeah, I was getting this energy before I put the cards out. Feeling stuck. Recent past is slowing down card, like not having the energy, feeling even like physically, again, you may be too heavy, or you may be having like fibromyalgia or joint pain or something where you're literally hurting and so you just can't move easily. There's something physical going on. Or you just are super tired, or just have not been had the motivation to put energy into something. And so your energy right now is this suppression card, which is like backed up, a lot of unresolved debris that's just piled up with the Pisces energy right now. And it also could be worry. In some cases, it's worry about someone else, that there's nothing you can do, like a loved one that's sick or going through a difficult time, and you feel your Pisces can be super empathic too, and they can just like, this might not even be your stuff. You may be just soaking up all the angst of everybody around you, and you're just got it all over you. So whether it's your own stuff or other people's stuff, clearing is needed. And I'm getting water, drinking more water, soaking in the tub, standing in the shower longer. If you can get into a swimming pool and float or do water aerobics or swim, it would be just super awesome, because there's just this weight of the world feeling on you and a need to feel like you're free of gravity. Body work, acupuncture, chiropractic care, massage, all those things would really help. You might need to get your butt into therapy, writing in your journal. There's some way you need to clear out this built up energy that's within. Near future is the turning in card. This is the psychic. This is getting information. But I also get with this card, some of these faces look kind of scary. So it feels like there may be some delusional thinking, like being afraid, being paranoid, feeling like there's things out there that are getting to you. This feels like, yeah, somebody that's a Pisces is quite delusional, and it feels like blocked, stuck energy, and they're just not helping themselves out. They're staying in this. It feels like there's a chemical imbalance going on in your brain. Other Pisces, there is this clear blue energy coming in. So there is this other Pisces energy where no matter what's going on in the world, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to chant, I'm going to get in this place where I'm going to feel centered and I'm going to feel good within myself no matter what's going down. I know I'm going to get the guidance that I need to receive no matter what. So there's some completely different stories here going on with the Pisces. Again, slippery fish is two different fish, right? Going two different directions. So not all the Pisces are going through the same thing. But the adventure card is coming with this. So this is a new opening, a new beginning. Moving into the rainbow. You may not know what's going to be there, but you know this is the way to go. Right now, this is what I need to do. This is my next step. This is getting clear about what your next step is. And again, with the psychic download, you may not know in the moment what the next step is, but trust me, tomorrow, the next day, sometime this week, you're going to get a very strong download about action to take, direction to go, what to do with this block step energy. And that's all I have this week. Let me see if there's anything else that I need to cover. I'm getting journaling, like writing, like really writing out. And if you're someone who's working on trying to develop your psychic abilities, One of the things I suggest to people is to write down the hits that you get, right? And sometimes we don't recognize it as a psychic hit till after the fact. Like we're not aware, especially when you're first starting to develop your abilities. Like now I'm pretty clear about when I get a hit. And sometimes I still rationalize and override them. And then I find out, what? I knew I got that. Why did I didn't listen to that? You may be thinking of someone, wondering why you're thinking about them, and then you might hear from them or see something on social media about them, or someone else brings them up, and you're like, I was just thinking about them. But writing your hits down, or like you writing down what you got and you overrode, like, oh, I felt like I shouldn't go to that party and I made myself go anyway. And I actually got sick at the party. I ate something that didn't agree with me. I ended up throwing up, whatever. So that's an example of overriding your intuition. And I knew I shouldn't go. Why did I make myself go? Right. So a lot of times we'll see in hindsight where we've been led intuitively and we didn't listen to it. We rationalized it. We overrode it. So I would recommend in the morning, asking for your guidance for this day. What today do I feel guided to do? Not what do I think I should do? What do I need to do? I mean, sometimes you can't avoid things you need to do, right? But then there's always room in each day to be guided. What today do I feel guided to do? And sometimes it takes a while of asking yourself that question before you get an answer. And others can come really quickly, depending on how open you are to that idea of some of guidance just coming through. And it comes through differently for different people too. Right. So some people get visions, some people hear things, some people just have the information going through them, some people feel it from their heart or their solar plexus, some people feel it in their third eye. Um, and so the more that if you're a visual person, you can draw the visions that you get, but to start tracking your psychic hits, your psychic lessons in a journal specifically for that. I mean, I usually write everything in one journal, but if it's a psychic hit, I'll write it with a different color. Or if you know, I have different color coded pens depending on what I'm writing about. If I'm writing a quote from someone else, I'll write it in a different color, or I'll do it in printing versus cursive. So it can be used in the same journal, but in some way have it be that you could stand out and look at it, because the more you pay attention to your intuition, the stronger and the louder that it gets. And so I would just do that exercise every day in the morning. What today do I feel guided to do? And then at the end of the day, what psychic experiences happened today? What situations did I find? Or you can do that the next morning too and review the day before. Like where did I get a strong psychic hit that was confirmed? Where did I get a psychic hit that I ignored and I overrode? That kind of thing. So I would suggest beginning to write them down and track them, because a lot of times making yourself pay more attention to them, it gets louder. And if you have a day where you don't have to do anything, that's a perfect day to let your intuition guide you, right? And just follow the flow. Okay, I think that's all that I have to say today. So blessings to you all. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Share it with your friends. Like my video. Make comments. If you're watching this on Facebook, do the same thing there. Share it for me. Make a comment. Like it. I appreciate your long attention if you're still with me. Peace.